Let's take a look at how you can draw the funnel chart in Python using Plotly library. So first thing, let's open the terminal or command prompt, right? So here I will first check whether we have Python installed or not. As you can see, I do have Python version 3.11. Now next thing, I'm going to type in cpip install then space plotly. There is also plotly-express. So these two options we have, right? Also we have the Jupyter-lab, right? So 3 libraries once we install, we are good to go, right? Now another thing is we can run either Jupyter space notebook or Jupyter-lab. Either one of that should work. Now the thing is, we can go to VS Code as well, right? So here in VS Code we can just install the extensions named, let's see, Python and Jupyter. So I already have Jupyter installed. Then we also have the Python extension installed. These two extension we need for plotting purpose, right? So once we have all of that, we can go to view, then command palette, right? Here just type in Jupyter and then you can click on create new Jupyter notebook. You will notice that there is a new tab here where we have text box and play button, right? So here we will type in import plotly dot express as px and then import pandas as pd, right? Then we have data frame that says pd dot data frame, right? And then we have dict where we are going to add our things like stage, right? So let's add some value for stage. So it will have sent, then received, right? Then we have clicks because we are dealing with funnel. So these are the words we will be using. Make sure each of these words are in single quote, right? Then comma, you have percentage equals to, within the square bracket we have 100, 70, 30 and 10, right? So that part is also taken care of. We can also add few things such as, let's see, numbers, right? So what we will do is we will simply add numbers here as well. So you'll notice it will show you something like percentage not defined, and that could be because if we forget to do something here, which like comma or something, it will cause errors here. So if we want to add something new, we will have to use comma again, and then let's say I add number, right? And this particular number array will contain, say, 5000. Now in case of numbers we don't need quote, right? So 5000, 3500, then 1500 and 500. Now all of that we already have. We can move ahead with our figure. So figure equals to px dot funnel, and that function you have data frame, then x set to percentage, right? And then we have y equals to stage, right? Then we have say title equals to, say, funnel chart, right? Finally you will have to use figure dot show. Let's see if everything is correct. Now it should start the process. If there are any errors, it will show you red along with errors as well. Okay, the error was, as you can see, we have the uppercase S, so let's change that to lowercase, otherwise it will cause error, right? So very minor error, but it exists. Now once that error taken care of, you have funnel chart, right? Notice the sent, received, clicks and sales. You have added respective values. Now what we can do, we can also add the number part here, right? So for that, what we'll do, we will use text equals to number within single quote obviously, and then comma, right? So if I run this, it should show that immediately here. So percentage will be below and your actual number against which it happened will be displayed. And also when you run the mouse over, you will see on the extreme right there is a balloon or tip that shows percentage 100, cent, and then number, right? So all of the data is displayed there along with the chart title, which is funnel chart, right? Another thing, we can play around with one value, which is, let's try and add this to next line, and here I'm going to use comma and then use color discrete sequence, right? So if I use equals to light coral, right, and if I run this, it should change the color. Now you can play around with various set of values within that color sequence, right? So for that, I suggest you can type in Python color discrete sequence, right? And here you can see built-in continuous color scales in Python. So this is in Plotly's documentation. You have these list of options you have. So you have magma, then you have blues, right? There are few like delta, right? So we can experiment with that. You can add something like say magma, that will be pretty dark, and it seems like that's not supported. So you'll have to try out something like see orange, and there you go. So you have like multiple some of such color options which you can test out, right? So let's move on to another part, which is highlight stage, right? But for that we will be needing few things there, right? So first thing we will be needing is we will need figure dot update underscore traces, and that function we are going to use our marker for. So marker equals to within curly bracket line and then width we have. So width within single quote of course, and then that should be within 1131 value, right? Along with one more thing is within single quote color, right? So colon and then the square bracket you have gray, then you have gray again, then you have blue, and make sure that in blue, then finally you have gray, right? So these are some things that you will be adding within your marker color, right? Also you can think of the option for update traces where you can add text part, which you can make it white as well. So We'll ignore that for now. So let's run, and notice that this is the highlighted area, and we got our clicks highlighted here, right? Also notice that the color gray, only one is blue, and finally gray again. So if you shift the blue to sent, this will be highlighted, right? So you managed to set up the highlight stage as well. Right, now you can also shift this into a funnel area, right? So let's see, instead of this particular figure dot funnel, we can comment this part out, right? And this will be in the comment as well, obviously, right? So two things we have there. So what we will do is we will simply use funnel area, right? So we will simply use figure equals to px dot funnel area. This is the one we will be using, and inside that we will be passing our data frame, then we will be passing in names, and then stage is what we will pass. Then for values we will pass percentage, right? So that part is also taken care of. Now we can also adjust its color discrete sequence, but for now let's first see how funnel area looks. And this is your typical funnel area, right? Now let's try and change some of its values. So color discrete sequence, and we can manually even set within that square bracket. So let's see, we start with orange, then we start with blue, right? Then we have red, which is for our particular clicks. Make sure everything is in single colon, otherwise it will throw an error. Finally I want green for sales. So if we run this again, let's see what changes. Notice orange, blue, then red for clicks, finally sell. So that's the color sequence that I have tried. Now you can experiment with this, like you can add title to this, right? So let's see if title works. Something like funnel area chart, because previously we added only the funnel chart as title. So let's experiment that, and funnel area chart, right? There is also opacity, which I didn't test it before, so let's see if that applies here. So 0.6, set it. This will only mellow down the dark colors, which is often the requirement, as big screen often illuminates the strong colors even higher. So you can use opacity and tone these colors down, right? So these are some of the things that you can do with your typical chart, right? So if you are drawing the funnel chart and doing the customization, try both funnel function as well as funnel underscore area function. See the output that you get according to your data.